Alright, so we're checking out the new Tomb Raider movie today, and I'm pretty excited because the original Tomb Raider movie is one of the most hilarious and entertaining movies that's ever been made.
Bella. Bella.
Babe, are you excited for Tomb Raider?
Yes, I am.
Sweet. Hey, what's up guys? I'm Jared Poirier, and welcome to my movie review show where I talk about movies. Okay, so on my last show, I counted down the top 10 superhero films of all time, but on today's show, we're doing a review of Tomb Raider. So the new Tomb Raider movie just came out, and I was really excited to see this film because I am a huge fan of the original Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider 2, The Cradle of Life or whatever, not so much. But to me, the first Tomb Raider film with Angelina Jolie is a hilarious movie and it's endlessly rewatchable. But even though I love the original Tomb Raider movie, I recognize that it's basically ridiculous and it has tons of flaws. It's also very dated when we go back and look at it now. So I was really pumped to see this new Tomb Raider movie, and I was excited to see what new direction they take this franchise in. Alright, so Tomb Raider 2018 was directed by Roar Urthug, awesome name, and it stars Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. And in this movie, restless amateur adventurer Lara Croft is attempting to unravel the mystery of her father's disappearance, and she gets involved in a conspiracy regarding the tomb of an ancient Japanese empress. Okay, so let's get right into the review, and we're going to start with the characters in Tomb Raider. So the first character I want to talk about is Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft. I really enjoyed Alicia Vikander in this role. I thought that she had a lot of screen presence, and I really believed her physicality here. I found her character really compelling and believable, because it doesn't completely come out of nowhere. The fact that she can do all of these awesome stunts, all of that stuff is built up in the early part of the movie, and I really liked that. Walton Goggins as Vogel is also really good. Goggins does a pretty good job here, and he is a pretty interesting villain. He at least does have some motivation, even though it's not really developed that well. And although I have seen this actor utilized quite a bit better in some other films, The Hateful Eight for instance, but I thought that Vogel was a good villain, and I was happy that he had some motivation beyond being an evil guy. We also have Dominic West as Richard Croft, and I thought that he was a good choice for this role because he does a good job playing the suave, sophisticated explorer that he begins the story as, but he also is pretty believable as the crazy woodsman that he ends up being. And I found his acting very believable in those more emotional scenes where they're conveying his love for his daughter. But I did find that this character was a bit too goofy at times, and he does make a lot of pretty dumb decisions. We also have Daniel Wu as Lu Ren, who is Lara Croft's love interest in this film. And I did like this character, even though there's not much depth there. At the beginning of the movie, he's just drunk, and then he decides to help Laura for money, and then he helps Laura because he likes her. But he's really just there to be kind of a love interest for Laura and drive the plot forward in certain ways. And really these four characters are the only characters that get that much development in this movie. And I thought that that was a bit of a missed opportunity, because you have all these mercenaries that work for Vogel, and there's no real distinct characters among them. And you also have all these slaves that Vogel is forcing to look for the tomb, and there's no real characters among them either. So I thought that that was a bit of a missed opportunity. I would have liked to see them utilize those two groups and maybe bring some interesting characters forward there. Okay, so let's talk about some of the sets in Tomb Raider. There are two main locations where this movie takes place. The first one is London. That's where we meet Laura, develop her character a bit. And the second one is the island off the coast of Japan, where Laura goes to find her father and explore the tomb of the Japanese empress. And I actually did really like how they built the world in this movie. The island looks really good, the ocean looks really good, the tomb looks really good, and I thought that CGI was really well utilized in this film. They didn't try to CGI any characters or anyone's face. All of the CGI is environmental stuff, planes and rocks and water, stuff like that you can actually really convincingly portray with CGI. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the plot. And this movie has a pretty generic plot. There is some mystery, and there are a few plot twists, but overall, the plot wasn't anything special. It's a bit of an origin story for our new Tomb Raider. There's a little bit of a love story in there, and that's about it. So I thought that they could have done something a little bit more interesting with the plot, but I understand that they're rebooting something of a troubled franchise, and they had to be a little bit conservative with the story. Okay, so let's just talk quickly about the action. This movie has some pretty good action scenes. There's some pretty good action set pieces, some cool tomb booby traps that Laura has to navigate. There's also some pretty intense and brutal fights in this, and this is where Alicia Vikander's physicality really comes into play. Like I said, you really believe that she can pull off some of these fight sequences, and it really gets you invested in the movie. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the overall themes in this movie, because this, I think, is where this movie falls a little bit short. There aren't really any strong themes present here. Like, what is the theme of this movie? Is it that adventure is good? Is it that women should feel empowered? There's just nothing explicit to latch onto here. And I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity as well. Because I think that if this movie would have been more overtly about female empowerment, it would have given the audience something to latch onto a little bit more. Because the way it stands right now, it's just kind of a fun adventure movie, and that's totally fine, but it would have been nice to see something with a little more depth. Okay guys, so now it's time for my final thoughts on Tomb Raider. So I found that there was quite a bit to enjoy in this new Tomb Raider movie, but I also found that this movie left quite a bit to be desired. There's some good action, some good effects, and you do get pretty invested in the main character. But I did find that the plot was pretty unoriginal, and that the filmmakers took very few chances here. And this is a very straightforward movie with a very practical Tomb Raider. She doesn't do any backflips, she doesn't kick anybody in the face with a motorcycle, but she is a badass, and she does know how to survive and hold her own. And I liked how in this, Lara Croft isn't overly sexualized as she is in some of the other movies. She's definitely attractive, but she's mostly portrayed as strong and capable, and I liked how this character wasn't overly sexualized. So yeah, this new Tomb Raider movie, guys, it's good, but it's not amazing. I really like Alicia Vikander in this role. I think that she makes a great Tomb Raider, but there wasn't really anything special or magical about this movie that made me really latch onto it. So yeah, guys, if you like movies with badass women who can hold their own, taking on evil and corruption, and doing some pretty awesome stunts along the way, then I think you're gonna like Tomb Raider. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Yo, so we're doing the good YouTuber shout out. Today we're shouting out Tyler Calvert. Tyler Calvert has a really awesome movie review channel up on YouTube. This guy's doing really well. He's got about 800 subscribers right now, but I'd like to see that get a little higher up to like the 1,000 level. So guys, go ahead and subscribe to Tyler Calvert, and you're gonna get some really awesome movie reviews and some really timely movie reviews as well. This guy tends to drop his videos pretty much right when the movie comes out. So yeah guys, check him out, and I'll see you guys next time.